So guys, we're on our way to Kentucky right now to visit Papa John. And yes, it's the Papa John, as in the billionaire Papa John. He's showing us his house, we're getting a day in the life, taking you along, and I got a Starbucks, so let's go.
Yeah, I bought this property in '95, right after we went public. This is a home of Hobbs, and this is the town of Anchorage. And before it was Anchorage, Kentucky, it was Hobbs Station. And so he had his well out there. Right in here is where he had his crops. His well came down the stream.
How did you start Papa John's?
I was at Gaddy's, worked at Domino's, worked at Rockies. So then I came up with this Papa John concept, recipes, equipment, logos, lighters, hats, shirts, everything. I put it in a box and hid it. And my mom said, you know, if you start something, you got to finish it. So you got to finish college. That's when I decided to take the box out of the closet and do Papa John pizza in the broom closet. Most of the house, still people didn't know about Papa John's, and we didn't have enough money for marketing. Every night Domino's would throw all their customer list, their deli sheets in the dumpster, and we would climb in the dumpster at 1 or 2, and then the next day I'd send a letter to the customer, because I already now knew they ordered. I knew they ordered at home. I knew they knew what home delivery was all about. So, hey, we're a new kid on the block. We make a better pizza. Here's a half price. And that worked really well.
Why do you have honey here?
Because I have my own garden. We have my own farm right across that hooks.
Do you
to
really?
The organic farm. It's pretty badass. This is the problem with corporate America, is it's always the almighty dollar. But they adulterate this honey. They got 1,000 ways to cheat. That's why honey in the stores half price, because it's synthetic. And they're putting all the American bee farmers out of business, these little small farmers. So we grow our own. It's an organic farm, organic flowers. So the bees, everything goes in there pure as it can get.
I've noticed you have quite a few eagles throughout.
Within like 3 seconds of an hour, but it's not perfect.
I feel like there's so many antiques and history here that we're just walking past.
Yes,
like,
you are.
Like
that came out of Italy. That's from an estate in Italy. But you got a good eye. What you do is you take one piece that's old and you put it in here and you faux. This is all faux
Yeah,
work.
of course.
And then it looks like the house is 100 years old.
For those that don't know, by the way, the faux finishing like this takes a long time, especially to do a room of this size all the way to the ceiling. My guess is this is probably, what, a week or two of more? How did you scale from 1 store to 10 to 100 to 1,000 to 5,000?
I think resilience and persistency beats genius and intellect every time. Let's say you want to be a dentist. Sooner or later, there's going to be a dentist that was a dentist before you were a dentist that has made it. Well, human nature, or drinking beer or Cokes, what a waste of life. I mean, is that really living? Because you can sit there and eat potato chips and watch a game. I mean, you know, I think God is movement. You know, life is movement, and I think it's important to keep moving.
Wow.
This is my office. We were talking earlier about perspective. This is a bishop's chair that I got out of Italy, a church in Italy. We think it's about 600 years old, 700 years old, because if you look over here, the perspective is terrible. It almost looks like mush. But if you take one 600-year-old piece and then you build around it, the whole room feels like it's very old. But that's my grandfather. We talked about him, Papa.
This might seem ignorant, but how do you come across a piece like this? How do you get this?
I just go buy it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I just buy it. And I buy them, and then I'll build something, and it just comes into play. So it's back to tinkering.
This is the way to go. And 2 is money gives me freedom. You know, I can do pretty well anything I want to do every day I want to do it, or do nothing. I think the wealth gives you not only the ability, but the opportunities to do things that are meaningful, you know, and if you're making a contribution to society and you're making a contribution to yourself, you're going to be a pretty happy human being.
So right now we're 1 story below ground level, and what you could see here, it looks like a little city. This is incredible with the windows, the door, but this is the garage. This is what's so remarkable about it. It kind of reminds me of the Forum shops at the Venetian with the painted ceilings, and the garage just keeps going down. I mean, what I would do for a garage like this, I would probably hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe. That's what I would do. Where do you invest your money?
I've liked gold. The last couple was up 10% that year, that's a windfall. The market stays exactly where it's at, I don't care because I get the 6% dividend. And if we have a crash, then I still get the 6% dividend. I've got all the staying power to hold on to those when the market crashes, and then I get that kiss on that black swan. So the best thing that can happen to me right now is a 20% correction. That would be the best thing for me, or a 20% up. You know, I have hundreds of millions of dollars. Say I had 900 million in the market, and it goes down to 600 million. I'd feel stupid. I mean, I'd feel like a complete idiot. I mean, I just lost $300 million. I don't want to take that chance. And everybody says it's a 100-year crash. Yeah, it's a 100-year crash every 10 years. And we're way overdue for a crash. And we are going to have a crash, just a question of when. This is a mosaic, means less than 2 inches. This has got 320,000 mosaics. There was 20 guys in here for 2 months laying this floor. The Italians, wow, Ferrari, Lamborghini, they're great at building things, etc.
Now, when you sold off a big chunk of your shares in Papa John, what was that like to see the money hit your account?
When you've got all your money in Papa John stock, 80% of it, and then all of a sudden now all that money's cash, you don't know how much money $1 billion is. And what I've tried to do with my kids, the best mechanism that I've found to educate them on how much is $1 million is dividend stocks. It's 5%. How much is $1 million? It's 50 grand a year. How much is 10 million? It's 500 grand a year. That's what it is. And that's the only thing that's really stuck, because I have my kids come to me, well, I want to invest in a software company or a computer company. I only need $5 million. You only need $5 million. I mean, they don't have any how much money $5 million is. I got this out of a castle in France. This has got holes in it where worms eat holes.
No way.
When this happened, everybody wanted to get rid of their fireplace. Camouflage the fact that the guest house is higher than the main house, you build a lagoon, hook them together. That lagoon, the mind's eye disappears that this is 3 foot lower than that. So what I try to do with a house is use the house.
Yeah.
And so if you look at it, you know, it's fairly big, but I use it. I mean, you know, like that dining room. People love to come over and eat in that dining room. This pool. The golf course, I mean, the gym. I use the heck out of this place. Every great entrepreneur did it something that was not the way everybody else was doing it. And we're not going to solve the problems of today where we're teaching our youth, give you guys Exhibit A, how, you know, or what to think. You know, you need to learn how to think. The greatest thing that our youth has, and our youth is our future, is their imagination, their creativity. I call it tinkering. Like, we'll go up, look at the backyard where I'm putting in a stadium kind of pickleball court. I got a putting green right here. You guys can watch this in rural area. We talk about tinkering. This was the tee. Kept hitting the lights and tearing up pickleball. Okay, scrap that. So now this is gonna be a putting green that comes into here, and that'll be the practice tee up there. And I put a couch down here with a couple chairs with this a couple 10-foot tents. Yeah. I thought everybody would stay up by the pool and the gazebo. Everybody, without exception, comes down here. So you gotta build a bar. Okay, next problem. They have to go to the bathroom. They're gonna go all the way to the house, all the way over to the guest house. So, come on, we'll show you. All these stones came out of a street in Chicago, these granite cobblestones. And so we just took the cobblestones. That arch came out of Italy. I don't even know where I bought that arch. I had the door in storage. I just bought the Eagles. And now all of a sudden we got a bathroom. End up being, it works perfect. You know, I don't like sitting around watching TV. You know, if you turn on one news channel, they look at a situation, see it one way, another, you know, so it's biased. And that's okay. But it's done in a way that's divisive and disruptive, and that's concerns me gravely for the future of our country. That we're a house, as Lincoln said, a house divided cannot stand. And, you know, our biggest enemy in the whole world is ourselves, this infighting. And it's just got to stop. And I think it starts with, so on the quantum work we talked about with bliss and kindness and love and mutual respect, thoughtfulness, consideration, just being nice. We start out the interview with creativity.
Yeah.
There's no difference in figuring out how to walk around that bar, how many sit at that bar, how high is that TV off the bar, than building a big company. It's the same part of the brain. We've moved the appliances around in this thing 7 times. We've moved this twice. I've moved that twice. I've moved that 3 times.
We built this. We've rebuilt it now 3 times. There's lamps with just temporary. These are lamps I brought out of that
Interesting.
castle, so I'll build it.
The personality is what you think, how you feel, and how you act. I mean, you can think positive, but if you don't feel positive, you know, act positive, it's all for nothing. You can talk integrity, but if you're not being truthful and you're not acting truthful, it's you know, so you want to keep how you feel and how you think and how you act all to be coherent. Find something you love. You guys love what you do. Find something you're good at and work it to the bone and you'll be successful. If you like it and you're good at it, sooner or later, you're going to break through. Just find something. I love making pizzas and I knew how to run a business, so it kind of worked out.